Hi, this is Thecia of Ellis Family Farms, and it started out chilly this morning. It was in the 40s, and that's typical, I guess, but it's supposed to get to 80 degrees today. It's not there yet. In fact, I've kind of held off coming out here and getting to work because it was just, I don't know. I'm not a winter person. I'm not a cold person. You know, I just don't like it when it's too cold. So I was waiting for it to get closer. I think it's about 60 degrees now, so that's a lot better, and I'll get to work with that. My project of the day is to see how much of this I can get cleared up. Yeah, it's mainly Johnson grass. There's supposed to be a bunch of onions underneath all this mess. And I need to get this cleared out anyway so that I can get to work transplanting some of the stuff that's in my little mini greenhouses. Whew, that looks like a lot of work, but that's the way it goes. That's what we're going to do. Well, I've made a little bit of progress. This over here was real hard, and then I remembered I had not replanted anything in this section when I dug out the old onions there. And now I'm into some other onions here, and apparently they were little green onions. I'll show those to you in a moment. And these are the roots of Johnson grass. And they're big, but they snap easily and break off. And guess what? When they do that, they make more Johnson grass. It's kind of a mess. So I have a mess there. And of course I've got dogs who are helping me chew up the weeds I was throwing over the fence. They're funny dogs. And these are the green onions that I was able to salvage so far. And I'll get them cleaned up and put away and used in some sort of a dish somewhere. But at least I got something. And I got a little bit of progress made. Whew! I sure did let that go. And I have to admit, the reason I had let it go, and I'm going to research it this winter how to work around that. I'm sure there's something I can do that I'm willing to do. And is weed pressure. You know, it's easier to pull weeds, even small ones, around to like a bigger stalk, like a broccoli or a tomato or something like that. But onions are little bitty and they stick up and they're very close together, and so it was hard to keep them weeded. What are you doing? Yuck. She's digging and flung a whole bunch of dirt on me. So that was an issue for me, and I even had Kinzie out here helping me one time weed, but you just can't do it, you know. So I will probably try to completely suppress the weeds this winter, hopefully, before I dig into them again, or before I plant into them again, and see if that helps me with weed pressure on my onions. I hope so, especially with the green onions. I gotta figure out something. I'll get there. Well, I'm losing daylight quickly. I used to come out here after dinner and try to get a few things done, and that's just not happening anymore. In fact, I'm having to, dinner's done, let me go get the sunset camera going. So that is going, has been going for a few minutes. I've been listening to some podcasts, and of course, we're all talking about fall gardening and stuff, and I'm trying to get geared up for fall gardening. And then sometimes you think, okay, I started some seeds and I'm trying to keep my weeds under control, and obviously I'm not doing that, and that is an actual issue that I'm going to have to spend some more time thinking about how I'm going to handle that, so I can get, I want to grow a lot more than what I've been growing, but it seems like by the time I get a garden plot cleared, it's almost too late. And, and of course, this is something we've all been talking about since March is, I'm supposed to be providing food for our family, and a handful of green beans here and something there. It's not going to feed a family of 3 through the winter, and I need to get my acting gear. I've got to do some serious thinking about what I want to do to feed our family. I mean, I've got a few chickens in the freezer, and my freezers are actually filled with meat, but that's because I'm low on freezers right now. And I've got some turkeys that are going to be going in probably in the next 5 or 6 weeks. They're going to be going whether they're ready or not. The people who do the processing, they quit at the end of November, so I've got to get, whether they're ready or not, they're going to get processed. And that's going to take up some freezer room and some, But gardening, I've got to get my butt gear. I've got to start figuring it out and being productive. You know, the meat seems becoming easier for me if I can find a place to store it when I do it. The canning the chicken worked out pretty good, but for the garden, I need to be able to can food so that I can eat it through the winter if I need to. You know, some of them are even talking about medicinal herbs. Oh, I would love to get into medicinal herbs. But it's hard for me to justify growing herbs when I haven't grown enough tomatoes to feed us, you know. There's so much to learn, so much to do. And I'll either figure it out or I don't. But I am mindful of it. You know, you can go through the summer, you know, like how we always go through our day after day doing things, you know, but every once in a while you stop and you go, I should have been a little more diligent. And I haven't been diligent, you know, regardless of how much I hear on the news. I don't watch the news, but you know, there are some things that you know when it's happening, and I should have been more diligent, and I wasn't. So I'm gonna have to sit down and do some serious thinking and planning and figuring out, you know, what am I willing to do? What can I do to actually bring in enough food to feed us if things really do get bad? And they may not. Great, that's great, you know. But with my food allergies that's gotten so bad lately, I've got to think about stuff like that too. It's been kind of a weird thing, you know. I want to do pigs. I'm allergic to pork. You know, I want to do some cattle. I'm allergic to cattle. You know, allergic to wheat. You know, I'm allergic to milk. Ugh. So I'm having to consider that too. I've got a lot to think about and a lot to do. And you can hear my dogs huffing and puffing as they run over me. Don't run over me. So I'm thinking about it. I'm going to do some planning, and one just sneezed on my leg. Yuck. Anyway, if you like this kind of thing, you want to see what I'm going to get into next, see what my dogs are going to do next. Obviously, they're going to run into me or do something, but if you like this kind of thing, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Like the videos that you like, and share them with some of your friends, you know, so they can see that not all homesteaders are young and good looking and got it all their act all together. Then there's people like me who have nothing together, but they're not going to quit. But that's okay. Have a good evening. See you next time.